hired a private investigator to find my biological mother, and what he found destroyed my entire understanding of who I am and where I come from. The file landed in my email on a Thursday morning, and I stared at it for 4 hours before I opened it. 31 years of not knowing, and the answer was sitting in a PDF, and I could not make myself click it. I made coffee I didn't drink. I sat at my kitchen table and thought about every version of her I had built in my head over the years. The woman who gave me up, the story I told myself about why, all the different shapes that story took, depending on what I needed it to be. Then I opened the file. She lived 40 minutes away. Had lived 40 minutes away for 11 years. Same city, different neighborhood, close enough we could have been in the same grocery store, the same restaurant, passing each other without looking. I kept reading. Her name, her address, her workplace. A photo taken from a distance, her walking to her car in a parking lot. I stared at it until my eyes lost focus. She was 62, silver-haired, and she walked in a way I recognized before I understood why. Then it hit me. I walk exactly the same way. Same posture, same slight forward lean. Something I had never inherited from anyone I knew. Then I got to the last section. She had 2 other children. A son, 35, a daughter, 33. She had kept them. I want to describe what that did to me, but I'm not sure language is built for it. 2 years after giving me up, she had another child and kept him. 2 years later, another, and kept her. They grew up with holidays and arguments and ordinary dinners, and a mother. The specific mother I had wondered about my entire life. And I had been 40 minutes away not knowing any of it. I needed weeks just to become a person again, after reading that file. When I was ready, I wrote her a letter. Handwritten, 3 drafts, 2 weeks. I told her who I was. Told her I wasn't reaching out to make demands. I just needed to know something. Enough to stop the wondering that had lived in me since I was old enough to understand what adopted meant. She called 11 days later. Her voice was softer than I imagined. She was crying before she finished saying my name. The name she had given me. The name my adoptive parents kept without knowing she chose it. That detail cracked something open in my chest I hadn't known was closed. She was 19 when she had me. Alone. No money. A family that made the decision before she understood she had a choice. By the time she was ready to find me, the adoption was closed, and she had spent 31 years believing I was better off not being found. She had a box. She told me this quietly, like a confession. A box kept for 31 years with a single photograph taken at the hospital before they took me away. 1 photograph. 31 years. We met for coffee 3 weeks later, an hour that turned into 4. She brought the photograph. I brought one from my childhood, proof that the life I lived without her had been good. We sat across from each other, and I watched her look at my face the way you look at something you thought you had lost forever. I have 2 half-siblings who don't know I exist. That conversation is coming, and I have no idea how it lands. I have a mother who gave me up and carried the weight of it for 31 years, and a mother who raised me and loves me completely. And I am still learning what space each of them occupies. But I opened the file. I sent the letter. I sat across from her and let her look at my face and looked back at hers. Some doors open into rooms you weren't prepared for. I'd open every one of them again,